for this session is Advancing Pathways for People, Planet, and Prosperity. And over the last few days, we've all agreed that food systems transformation demands decisive leadership, it calls for bold actions, and it calls for deliberate interventions. And so in this session, in this presidential plenary session, we're going to be listening into for insights on how Africa might move decisively from big ambitions for people, planet, and prosperity, from big ambitions towards big and sustained action for people, planet, and prosperity. And now, to start us off, we ask the question, what do bold actions look like for resilient food systems? Ladies and gentlemen, it's my absolute pleasure now to welcome from the host of the AGRF, His Excellency Hailemariam Desalegn, the chair of the AGRF Partners Group and former Prime Minister of Ethiopia, to the podium. Let's give him, please, a big round of applause.
The presence of more than 5 heads of state and government in this year's AGRF summit depicts unprecedented commitment of our leaders to alleviate all forms of poverty, hunger, and malnutrition through agricultural transformation using the food systems approach. The prosperity of our beautiful and richly endowed continent, Africa, depends on translating the commitments we have made on the Comprehensive African Agricultural Development Program, CAADP, food systems, and African Continental Free Trade Area, AFCFTA, to implementation. The COVID-19 pandemic and the recent conflict between Russia and Ukraine have unleashed a cataclysm of the 3 Fs: food, fuel, and fertilizers. The continent's plight thus requires the 3 Cs: collective will, collective voice, and collective action to radically transform our agriculture, to reserve and reverse the catalysm effects and turn our fortunes towards sustainable, self-sufficient economic growth. There is thus a need to boldly galvanize collective will amongst our leaders to emphatically support agricultural transformation because it is the main vehicle that will drive our countries to industrialization, economic transformation, and growth. Collective investment through public-private partnership are pivotal to unlocking the food, fuel, and fertilizer crisis in the continent. These investments are also crucial for reversing the effects of climate change in our continent. Your Excellencies, your collective and unified will, voice, and endeavors were supreme in getting the continent to have the least casualties from the COVID-19 pandemic. We applaud this. Your collective and unorthodox leadership, thinking, and guidance is paramount for this continent to provide global solutions to these problems. Through you, Your Excellencies, we can produce the world's best practices when it comes to dealing with the 3 Fs and the effect of climate change. Your Excellencies, I want to remind you that at the heart of the dealing with the 3 Fs is to fully embrace the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, SDGs, and 5 critical dimensions: people, planet, prosperity, peace, and partnership. They are traditionally viewed through the lens of 3 core elements: social inclusion, economic growth, and environmental protection. With this in mind, no one should be left behind by embracing the 5 Ps and SDGs. In people, no poverty, goal number 1. Zero hunger, goal number 2. Good health and well-being, goal number 3. Quality education, goal number 4. Gender equity, goal number 5. Clean water and sanitation, goal number 6. In prosperity, affordable clean energy, goal 7. decent work and economic development, Goal 8, industry, innovation and infrastructure, Goal 9, reduce inequalities, Goal 10, sustainable cities and communities, Goal 11, responsible consumption and production, Goal 12. In planet, we have climate action, Goal 13, life below water, Goal 14, life on land, Goal 15. In peace and partnership, peace, justice, and strong institutions, Goal 16, partnership for the goals, Goal 17. Aren't these incredible? Aren't these inspiring? Absolutely they are. But we as a continent, we are lagging behind to achieve by 2030. With this said, Your Excellencies, we need to put these ideals in action and bold action. Let's therefore, number one, expedite the implementation of the African Continental Free Trade Area Agreement to facilitate the trade of the 3Fs within the continent. Number two, increase investment towards production and market infrastructure. Number three, de-risk the agriculture sector. Number four, use employment and policy interventions. Number five, enacting food waste policy. Number six, and therefore social protection programs. This summit is aimed at rejuvenating our enthusiasm and that of our leaders to act urgently as the current problems doesn't warrant business as usual. There is adequate quality amongst our leaders to invigorate our continent to prevail and be triumphant over food, fuel, and fertilizer crisis. Your Excellencies, we stand ready for your guidance on this step, on the next steps, and I thank you, and God bless our continent, Africa.
And a stark reminder of what's possible when there's collective will, collective voice, and collective action. Now, ladies and gentlemen, as we ready ourselves to listen in to His Excellency Paul Kagame as he presents his presidential keynote remarks, might I ask you to join me by being upstanding as he arises to the podium, and let's put our hands together for His Excellency Paul Kagame, President of the Republic of Rwanda.
Excellency Emmerson Mnangagwa, President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, Excellency Mohamed Bazoum, President of the Republic of Niger, Excellency Philip Mpango, Vice President of the United Republic of Tanzania, Excellencies, friends, and colleagues, Haile Mariam Desalegn, former Prime Minister of Ethiopia, and Agra Board Chair, Olusegun Obasanjo, former President of Nigeria, Lionel Zinsou, former Prime Minister of Benin, Patricia Scotland, Commonwealth Secretary General, President of IFAD, Ms. Alvaro Radio, Dr. Agnes Kalibata, President of AGRA, senior officials, members of the diplomatic corps, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I welcome you all to Kigali for the African Green Revolution Forum 2022. Allow me to start by appreciating the leadership of my friend Haile Mariam Desalegn for his critical role as Africa's ambassador for Agricultural Transformation. I also would like to thank Dr. Nyens Kalibata and the entire AGRA team for partnering with Rwanda to organize this summit. When we met 1 year ago, it was on the eve of the United Nations Food Systems Summit. Our continent put forward a strong common African position, which we have to build on and deliver results on the ground. Let's remember what this work is really about. It is about nutrition, nutritious food on families' tables every day. It's about more income in farmers' bank accounts. It's about growing agribusiness and creating new service jobs off the farm. Above all, it's about ensuring that Africa is more resilient in the face of unexpected shocks. But we are off track in achieving our agreed targets under the Comprehensive African Agricultural Development Program and the Malabo Declaration, as well as the Sustainable Development Goals. The COVID pandemic, ongoing conflicts, and the global supply chain and energy crisis are all placing unusual strain on our food systems. A few lessons are clear from our past experiences. First, we are stronger together. The African Continental Free Trade Area is a good start with huge potential. We cannot have a coherent approach to agricultural transformation without a close integration with Africa's international trade policy. We also need to make more investments in transport and storage infrastructure and move faster to harmonize our tariff systems. Second, those hardest hit from recent shocks are local businesses and smallholder farmers. Targeted support can make all the difference in keeping the businesses open. Finally, investments made today create resilience and new possibilities tomorrow. For example, following the last food price crisis in 2008, Rwanda invested significantly in post-harvest management, among other measures to improve food security, and this paid off for us during the pandemic. Beyond our continent, we have so much to gain from and share with other regions. Many are represented here today from the Americas, Asia, Europe, and the Middle East. Africa should not be struggling with food insecurity given our natural endowments. We can feed ourselves and even feed others. This is an opportunity for us to work together, learn from each other, and advance homegrown solutions tailored to our specific contexts. For example, at the World Economic Forum annual meeting last May, Rwanda committed to co-lead and host the Food Action Alliance, a multi-stakeholder platform for public-private partnerships in food systems. Ahead of COP27 in Egypt later this year, we must also advocate for stronger commitments to reduce emissions and drive action on adaptation and resilience, particularly in developing countries. Allow me, Your Excellencies, distinguished delegates, to conclude with a tribute to the outgoing chair of the Africa Food Prize Committee, President Olusegun Obasanjo. President Obasanjo, my brother, friend, over the last 6 years, you have succeeded at raising the global profile and impact of the prize. Your lifelong dedication to our continent's development is an inspiration to all of us. And we thank you and honor you today. As we track our progress and hold each other accountable, let us learn from our successes and setbacks to strengthen our efforts going forward. By transforming our food systems together, we will achieve in a sustainable way our ambitions for our people, planet, and our shared prosperity as laid out in the 2030 Agenda. Once again, I thank you all for being part of the solution, and I wish us all a fruitful summit. Thank you very much.